I'm very lucky to be here tonight, and I'm lucky in a fortunate sort of way because I was caught in an infinite loop, let me describe it as, this morning at 8:15. My son and myself were going to school this morning, and he asked me a question. He said, "Daddy, when you were a little boy, did you live with Granny Peggy?" I said, "Yes." Granny Peggy is my mum. I said, "Yes, I did live with Granny Peggy." "Why don't you live with Granny Peggy anymore?" "Because I got married and I married your mum and I moved to Bray." "Daddy, why don't we live with Granny Peggy?" I said, "Alex, because we bought the house and we moved into Bray, and besides, Granny Peggy's house isn't big enough." "But why isn't Granny Peggy's house big enough?" he asked me. I said, "Well, it's just a normal size and she's no money to extend it anymore." "Why doesn't she have any more money?" At this point, we arrived at the crash. Thank God, I was never so pleased to see. It was like an oasis in the desert. And now Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. General Evaluator, and fellow interrogation victims. I have a 4-year-old son called Alex, and he is very, very inquisitive. He's also very intelligent. And at the moment, he's asking a lot of questions. In fact, my wife has coined a phrase called why-aria. Every single question he asks begins with why. And sometimes they're easy to answer, sometimes they're not so easy to answer. I found the trick is to be very succinct in my answer, but even that doesn't let me off the hook. My wife especially gets quite frustrated because he usually starts asking these questions at 8 o'clock at night. When I'm tired, she's tired, we're trying to get him into bed. He's trying every single tactic he can possible to not go to bed. And he asks totally questions out of the blue. It's very strange, some of the things he comes up with, and his mind is very switched on for a 4-year-old. I don't have a lot of experience with children, but I never remember a child being as intelligent. I've never come across a child as intelligent as him, and I don't mean that just because he's my own son. No, seriously, I don't, because he's frightening, some of the things he asked me. There, about a year ago, we started spelling words to try and get him around him a little bit, and like words like CHOCOLATE, chocolate, or other words like LEGO, Lego. He soon figured that one out. That was a bit of a scary one because we were saying, we might go to the shop and get him some LEGO. And of course, I don't know how he did it. He managed to put Lego together with a word like that. So it was a bit scary. And I remember talking to my wife Ruth about 6 months ago, and I was saying, how is he so smart? We just don't understand. I don't think children should be like that. Or at least my own children, they should be so switched on because he knows everything. And he's this ability to ask the most maybe cerebral question at the most inopportune time. So we're discussing it a little bit, and Ruth said, "Well, the only thing I can think of is when he was a little baby, I used to talk to him a lot, and maybe that has kind of filtered through to him." And we were just trying to think, what did we do that as this guy, that he's so inquisitive, so intelligent. And Ruth, when he was born, actually a week after he was born, she started writing a blog about his adventures of the first 18 months or so of his life. And she has put it together in a little book.
Aww.
And she's called it now, she hasn't published it yet, but it's called Alex's Little Book of Wisdom, a very funny baby's musings on his first impressions of life. And I was looking at this blog, and there's a picture of him, I don't know if you can see him now, this is about...
Wow.
No, I should have got a PowerPoint. But I just read some of these blogs, and funny, when I went back and I was compiling the speech, and I looked at some of these blogs, and really, it's Ruth's voice that is actually writing the blogs, but a lot of the traits that he's starting to show now, I can see in these blogs now. And I think it helped with Ruth when she did these blogs up. She used to text them to her friends and email them, and also she read them to Alex. So I think a lot of it has kind of transferred to him, if you know what I mean. So that's helped him to gain his own voice. So I just picked a couple. I picked one at the start, one sort of halfway through, and his final one as well. So Alex's blog now, this is 25th of September 2009. He's 7 days old, and I remember this day very well. "Oh my God, I want to swap my parents. These are total dumbos. This afternoon, my daddy made my pram. This is very impressive. He did a great job in it. Then my parents decided to bring me and the pram for a walk. We went to Nang Nang's house, which is my mother-in-law, Mary. While there, I decided, like a dog, to mark my turf, so I did a pee. Nothing strange there, except, do you think my parents had brought any nappies or change of clothes for me? Oh no, like I said, total dumbos. nearly had to go home in the nip. Alex. So that was the first one. I remember that day so well. And another one as well. Now this one, the first night that I was home alone was the 13th of October 2009. He was 24 days old. Back in the time when I was counting the days, he was old. Hi Alex fans, hope you are all well. My mummy had to go out to a meeting tonight. It was the first time she has left me since I was born. She was sad leaving me, but me and Daddy had great fun when she was gone. We did man things, like listening to sports programs on the radio and sitting on the couch having farting competitions. Now, I won. Daddy is no match for me on the farts front. I was no match at all. No, then when Mummy came home, I rewarded her with a poo. Overall, a very successful evening. Love, Alex. It's really, it's a sad indictment on people's lives when the hottest question of the day is, has he done a poo? But anyway. And then this is his last vlog, and this is the 12th of March 2011. He was nearly 18 months old. He was born on the 18th of September 2009, so he's nearly 18 months old. And this one I especially like for one reason, because I remember it so well. When I was reading through the book, some of them I couldn't remember, the exact instances, but this day is the day he actually took his first steps.
Aww.
And I thought it was Ruth that did a great job encompassing it in the blog. I read it now. Hi Alex fans, 6 big newses. 1, me is a crumb cracker addict, me loves them. Me walked all by myself, also it's number 2. And points 3 to 6, me did it again. Me did it 5 times altogether.
Aww.
Mum and Dad says me is the cleverest baby ever. Me don't know, me keeps doing it and they still get all excited about it. They estrange these parents. Me so tired from all this walking, me is going to bed early. Love, Alex. So I think that was a really great idea that Ruth had of actually putting all that together in a little book. So just remember, you heard it here first tonight. Now, going back to Alex. So I don't have an answer, but thank God he's as good as he is. On the other hand, we have a little girl as well. She's 9 months old, and if Alex is chalk, she is cheese. If he's loud, she's very placid, very, very quiet, which is great. Because if we 2 of them crying, my head would be truly wrecked. I'd be out a lot more than I am. But really, it's it's interesting. Especially when I wasn't around children a lot when I was younger, because a lot of my cousins were a lot older than me. So I haven't really been in this situation before where I've seen children grow up, and really, I worried a lot. I would say about Alex being intelligent and being so smart, and even to go to a Toastmasters meeting, he would say to me, "Are you going to a Toastmasters meeting tonight?" Because Ruth would tell him I'm going, and some nights he wouldn't be too happy with me going. So really, it's tough. It's a tough life, sometimes. But really, I'd like to say that it's great, to a great time, but it's we worry about silly things like me worrying about him and growing up, but I think as long as people are happy, people are healthy, children are happy, children are healthy, that's really the most important thing in life. And like the little girl as well, I remember my mother-in-law said before she was born that if she's half the personality of Alex, she'll be a hoot, and let's just say she's well on her way to being a hoot.